Week 9, American Drama. Drama in America was slow to develop as a self-conscious literary form. It was not until 1920 that the United States produced a world-class playwright. This is not to say that theater was new to American life. After the American Revolution, theaters opened throughout the East. Among early centers were Boston and Philadelphia, as well as New York City. As the country expanded westward, so did its theater, together with other kinds of performances such as burlesque, showboats on the Mississippi, minstrel shows, and pantomimes. As the 19th century went on, the activity became centered more and more in New York, especially within the few blocks known as Broadway. Managers originated plays there and then sent them out to tour through the rest of the country. Innovations in American theater are often launched in reaction against Broadway, a pattern observable as early as 1915 with the formation of production companies such as the Washington Square Players and the Provincetown Players, both dedicated to the production of plays that more conservative managers refused. European influence was also strong. European companies toured the country, exposing Americans to the theatrical avant-garde. American playwrights in the 1920s and 1930s were united not so much by a common cause of ideas as by the new assumption that drama should be a branch of contemporary literature rather than a stepchild of popular entertainments. They wrote serious, realistic plays and tragedies like other playwrights of the world, but they also created distinctly American forms such as the social comedy and the musical comedy. Social commentary and satire had been a part of American drama since the 1920s. During the Depression, social criticism became a much more important dramatic theme, with political plays performed by many radical groups, turning the stage into a platform for argument. Eugene O'Neill, the nation's first major playwright, was born in a New York City hotel on Broadway on October 16th of 1888. His father was James O'Neill, an actor who abandoned his early success in Shakespearean roles to make a fortune playing the lead role in a dramatization of The Count of Monte Cristo, which he performed on a tour more than 5,000 times. O'Neill's mother, Ella, hated backstage life and became addicted to morphine. An older brother, James Jr., had been born in 1878 and during most of Eugene's childhood was away at various boarding schools. Later, Jamie, as he was called, became an actor and an alcoholic. O'Neill's father had died in 1920, his mother in 1921, and his brother in 1923. During the mid-1920s, O'Neill became interested in dramatizing the complicated pattern of his family's life. Like other modernists, he was influenced by the popularization of Sigmund Freud's ideas, the power of irrational drives, the existence of a subconscious, the roles of repression and inhibition in the formation of personality and in adult suffering, the importance of sex, and above all, the lifelong influence of parents. Examples of this way of thinking can be found within his play Long Day's Journey into Night, written in 1941 and 2, but not published until 1956. Besides Freudian theory, the play also depicts other characteristics of modernism. For example, it contains the same pessimistic point of view as Eliot's The Wasteland and other modern works, and similarly contains several fragments of previous artistic works and expects the reader to be familiar with the references. Finally, the story ends with no real resolution and doesn't seem finished, though we can easily write the ending with a bit of imagination. Tennessee Williams was born on March 26, 1911, in Columbus, Mississippi. After college, he moved to New Orleans, a city that would inspire and influence many of his writings. In 1947, toward the end of the modern era, his play, A Streetcar Named Desire, opened on Broadway, causing his audience to stand and applaud for a full 7 minutes, and winning him his first Pulitzer Prize. The play tells the story of a decline and fall of a traditional Southern belle named Blanche. Like other modernist writings, it is riddled with sexuality, alcoholism, depression, loneliness, and insanity. There is also an array of violent scenes that show the decline of the moral precepts of the past and entrance of the raw, foundationless confusion of the modern world. This story is also left without a resolution. For this week's discussion, consider the following question. Because Long Day's Journey into Night is written as a theatrical production, there is no narrator to tell us exactly what the characters are thinking. Instead, O'Neill uses techniques like characterization, detailed stage directions, and props to help the reader understand the minds of his characters. Choose one character and cite a few examples of these techniques from the first half of the play that help you to get to know that character. Where applicable, tell which type of characterization, direct or indirect, is being used in your examples.